Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
How are you, Erica?
Marco, I'm doing really well. How about you?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited because today we're talking about travel.
That's right. We're going to give you some real English to talk about travel.
Exactly. English that you would use in everyday life, that you hear in movies and TV shows.
English people actually use.
Exactly. So why don't you tell us a little bit about this lesson for today?
Okay, so today we are going to listen as a husband and wife get ready to go on a trip.
All right, that sounds a little bit complicated.
Well, let's look at our two preview words.
Vocabulary preview.
Okay, so the first word that we have is road trip.
Road trip.
Road trip.
Road trip.
Okay, so road trips are really fun and interesting, right?
Road trips are great. You get to get in a car with your family and drive on a vacation.
Yeah, those are really fun, and they're really popular in North America.
Really popular. I've been on a million road trips.
All right, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But now, let's take a look at our second word, and it's the car's packed.
The car's packed.
The car's packed.
The car is packed.
So when your car is packed, it means that
everything you need is inside the car.
All right, so your bags, your food, everything that you need for your trip.
Exactly.
Perfect. Okay, so those were our two preview words, and now we are ready to listen to the dialogue for the first time.
Okay, this dialogue will be at normal speed. It will be fast, but don't worry if you don't understand everything.
After 10 minutes, we promise you will understand everything in this lesson.
So, are we all ready to go?
Yep, I think so. The car's packed, we have munchies and music, and the map's in the car.
Did you get the camera?
Got it. Did you fill up the tank?
Yep, it's all set.
You're sure we're not forgetting anything?
I'm sure. We've got all our bases covered.
Well, let's get going then. I love road trips. Do you think we can make a pit stop?
But we've only been on the road for 10 minutes.
I know, but I forgot to go to the bathroom before we left.
Well, she forgot to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I hate it when this happens.
This happens to me on almost every road trip.
Okay, great. So now it's time for our language takeaway. We have 3 words for our language takeaway today.
Language takeaway.
And the first word is munchies.
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 So munchies are
Snacks.
snacks, food,
Food, chips,
chips, cookies,
chocolate bars.
all that good stuff.
I love munchies.
And they're really good when you're taking a road trip.
Indeed.
Okay, so let's take a look at our second language takeaway word for today, and it is fill up the tank.
Fill up the tank.
Fill up the tank.
Fill up the tank. So this is to
Put gas in your car.
put gas in the gas tank.
In the gas tank. Exactly.
All right, our last language takeaway today is
Pit stop.
pit stop.
Pit stop.
Make a pit stop.
It's a quick stop for you to get some gas, food, go to the bathroom.
Yeah, a pit stop, a quick stop.
Great, so now it's time for putting it together.
Putting it together.
Okay, so we have 2 great phrases for you today. Let's take a look at the first one.
We've got all our bases covered.
We've got all our bases covered.
We've got all our bases covered.
This is a really great phrase, and it's really useful, right?
Yeah, let's listen to a couple of examples.
Example 1.
We've got all our bases covered in case the hurricane hits.
Example 2.
Okay, I have my keys, wallet, and passport. Looks like I have all my bases covered.
Okay, it's clear now, but you can use this in a lot of different situations, right?
You can use this in many situations. If I'm at work, I could say, All right, we've got a really good marketing plan. We've got all our bases covered.
Exactly. You have everything ready.
You're all prepared.
Perfect. All right. Now let's take a look at our second phrase, and it's let's get going.
Let's get going.
Let's get going.
Let's get going.
All right. So when you say let's get going, it just means
Let's start.
let's start. Let's go.
Yep.
Okay. But the interesting thing about this phrase is you can change it a little bit and it means something different.
Let's listen to a couple of examples.
Example 1.
I have the chicken, so let's get cooking.
Example 2.
This house is really scary. Let's get out of here.
Example 3.
I have another meeting in 20 minutes, so let's get down to business.
So let's get down to business, Marco.
Let's get down to business. Let's listen to the dialogue one more time, but this time
It'll be a little bit slower and you'll understand much better.
So, are we all ready to go?
Yep, I think so. The car's packed. We have munchies and music, and the map's in the car.
Did you get the camera?
Got it. Did you fill up the tank?
Yep, it's all set.
You're sure we're not forgetting anything?
I'm sure. We've got all our bases covered.
Well, let's get going then. I love road trips. Do you think we can make a pit stop?
But we've only been on the road for 10 minutes.
I know, but I forgot to go to the bathroom before we left.
So that was a little more clear this time, wasn't it?
yeah, you can definitely understand better about what we've been talking about.
Yep.
Okay, so now it's time to look at Fluency Builder. Erica, why don't you explain what Fluency Builder is?
In Fluency Builder, we give you some great, useful phrases to help you express your ideas clearly.
Okay, great. So let's look at Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
All right, so we all know how to ask the question, are we ready to go?
That's right. You can say, can we go now?
Or you can say, are we ready to go?
Exactly. But there's another way that we can say this, and we heard it in our dialogue. So let's listen.
So, are we all ready to go? So, are we all ready to go?
Wow, that sounds really good. It sounds a lot more fluent.
Fluent, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so another simple phrase that we all know how to say is, it is ready.
It is prepared.
It is ready.
Right.
So these examples are fine. They're right.
Yeah, they're correct English, no problem.
But there's another way to say this that we heard in the dialogue, and it sounds a lot more fluent.
Yep, it's all set. Yep, it's all set.
It's all set. That sounds much better.
Yes, and we're all set to listen to this dialogue for a third time, and this time it's going to be at its normal speed.
There was a moment in her life when the walls of her apartment felt smaller than they actually were. Not because the space had changed, but because she had. Her name was Elena, and at 32, she realized she had memorized the rhythm of her city so well that nothing surprised her anymore. The same streets, the same cafe conversations, the same promises to travel someday. Someday had become a comfortable excuse, and comfort, she slowly understood, can be dangerous when it turns into a cage. Elena worked as a translator, a job that allowed her to hear voices from all over the world without ever leaving her desk. Emails arrived from Tokyo, contracts from Berlin, late-night calls from Buenos Aires. She spoke about places she had never touched, climates she had never felt on her skin. One evening, while translating a travel memoir, she stopped mid-sentence. The writer describes standing in an unfamiliar airport, heart pounding, unsure but alive. Elena leaned back in her chair and whispered, almost embarrassed by the honesty of it, "I want that." The decision didn't arrive dramatically. There was no thunder, no sudden sign from the universe. It came quietly, like a sentence forming in the back of her mind. If not now, then when? Within weeks, she sold most of her furniture, packed 2 backpacks, and bought a one-way ticket. Not around the world, just away. Her plan was intentionally vague. Follow curiosity, stay as long as it felt right, and leave before fear made the decision for her. Her first stop was Istanbul, a city balanced between continents and contradictions. The air smelled of spices and sea salt, and Elena felt both invisible and deeply present. She wandered through crowded markets where languages blended into music, where no one knew her history or expectations. For the first time in years, she introduced herself without explaining who she used to be. She was simply Elena, passing through. Travel taught her quickly that romantic ideas collapse fast in reality. She missed flights, got lost in neighborhoods where street signs meant nothing to her, and learned how exhausting constant uncertainty could be. Yet every challenge carried a strange reward. She learned patience while waiting for delayed ferries, humility while asking strangers for help, and trust when she had no choice but to rely on it. From Turkey, she moved east, Georgia, then India. In small guest houses and overnight trains, Elena collected stories the way others collected souvenirs. A grandmother who shared homemade bread, a student who practiced English by asking her about dreams, a taxi driver who spoke only with laughter and hand gestures. She realized that travel wasn't about movement, it was about attention. The more she listened, the more the world spoke back. India overwhelmed her senses. The noise, the colors, the relentless closeness of life. Some days she loved it, other days she wanted to disappear into silence. But it was there, sitting on the steps of an old temple at sunrise, that Elena confronted a truth she had avoided back home. She was not searching for places. She was searching for permission to change. As weeks turned into months, Elena stopped counting days. She stopped asking people back home when she would return. The question no longer made sense. She wasn't escaping her life. She was expanding it. Each border crossed felt less like leaving something behind and more like adding another layer to who she was becoming. One night, in a quiet hostel room, Elena opened her notebook and wrote a single sentence. "This is only the beginning." She didn't know yet how far she would go, how deeply travel would reshape her identity, or how difficult it would become to define home. But she knew one thing with absolute clarity. She would never again belong to only one version of herself. And somewhere beyond the next horizon, the world was already waiting. By the time Elena reached South America, her sense of time had softened. Weeks slipped past unnoticed, and months felt lighter than days once had. She arrived in Peru during the rainy season, when the sky seemed undecided and streets glistened as if freshly polished. She no longer arrived as a tourist collecting highlights. She arrived quietly, observing, adjusting, blending in when possible. In Cusco, she learned the art of slowing down. Mornings began with thin air and strong coffee, afternoons with long walks through stone streets built centuries before her language even existed. She met other travelers, but fewer stayed long enough to become familiar. Everyone was moving towards something else. Elena realized that travel friendships were intense but temporary, like short novels you finish in one sitting and never forget. From Peru, she crossed into Bolivia, then Chile, following no strict route, only intuition and occasional necessity. Border crossings stopped feeling official and started feeling symbolic. Each stamp in her passport carried less excitement and more responsibility. She was choosing this life again and again with every crossing. It wasn't always beautiful. There were nights when loneliness arrived without warning. Sitting alone in rented rooms, Elena missed the ease of shared memories, the comfort of being known without explanation. Conversations required effort. Humor sometimes failed. She learned that independence was powerful, but it came with emotional costs no guidebook mentioned. In Argentina, she stayed longer than planned. Buenos Aires reminded her of Europe and Latin America at once. Elegant, chaotic, emotional. She rented a small apartment and returned to work, translating during the mornings and exploring the city in the evenings. For the first time, travel and routine overlapped. She shopped for groceries, argued with internet providers, and learned which bus lines to avoid. It felt dangerously close to settling. But something inside her had changed permanently. Stability no longer meant staying. It meant knowing she could leave. Elena continued south, drawn by landscapes that made her feel wonderfully insignificant. In Patagonia, silence stretched endlessly. Wind cut through her thoughts until only the present moment remained. Hiking alone across vast terrain, she confronted fear in its purest form. Not panic, but respect. Respect for nature, for her limits, for the fact that not everything could be controlled or planned. Then came Africa, a continent she had dreamed of but feared misunderstanding. She started in Morocco, where familiar and foreign danced together. The call to prayer echoed through streets as Elena navigated markets thick with color and sound. She learned quickly how assumptions fail. Travel humbled her again, reminding her that curiosity must always be paired with respect. Moving south into Kenya, Elena volunteered briefly at a language center. Teaching English felt different after living among so many accents and dialects. She no longer believed in correct language, only effective communication. Stories mattered more than grammar. Connection mattered more than perfection. It was in Kenya that Elena began questioning the idea of return. Friends back home asked if she felt lost. She didn't. She felt expanded. Yet she also felt fragmented, belonging everywhere a little, nowhere completely. She started to wonder whether travel was shaping her identity or dissolving it. One evening, sitting by a fire with strangers who felt temporarily like family, Elena admitted something she had never said out loud. She didn't want her old life back. Not because it was bad, but because she was no longer the woman who fit into it. Travel hadn't given her answers. It had given her better questions. As she planned her next destination, Asia, once again, but farther east, Elena noticed something subtle. She no longer introduced herself by her job or hometown. She spoke instead about experiences, moments, feelings. Her identity had become fluid, adaptable, alive. She closed her notebook that night with a quiet realization. The world hadn't changed her direction. It had changed her definition of arrival. And somewhere across the ocean, another chapter was already unfolding. Elena arrived in East Asia with lighter bags and heavier thoughts. The excitement of arrival no longer rushed through her veins the way it once had. Instead, there was a calm awareness, a quiet readiness to observe rather than conquer. In Japan, she learned discipline without rigidity. Cities moved with precision, yet moments of softness appeared everywhere. Steam rising from street food, strangers bowing slightly, silence treated as a form of respect rather than emptiness. She stayed in small rooms, slept on thin mattresses, and woke early, adjusting herself to a rhythm that wasn't hers. And yet, she fit. Not perfectly, but honestly. Travel had taught her that fitting in was never about imitation. It was about attention. When you truly notice a place, it notices you back. From Japan, she moved through Southeast Asia, where time seemed to stretch and melt. In Vietnam, days were loud and layered, filled with motorbikes, conversation, and rain that arrived without warning. In quiet cafes, Elena worked and watched life unfold in front of her, realizing she was no longer chasing transformation. It had already happened. There was a moment on a beach in Indonesia, sitting barefoot as the sun dissolved into the ocean, when Elena felt something unexpected. Stillness. Not the kind that comes from exhaustion, but the kind that follows understanding. She wasn't searching anymore. She wasn't running either. The movement had become natural, like breathing. That was when the question returned, gently this time. What comes next? Elena traveled one final stretch, Australia, wide and open, familiar, yet distant. She spent weeks in nature, walking along distances, letting thoughts surface without forcing conclusions. She understood now that travel didn't give life meaning, it stripped away distractions until meaning could speak for itself. One evening, she reread her earliest journal entries, the fear, the urgency, the need to escape. She smiled with compassion for that earlier version of herself. That woman believed freedom was distance. Elena now knew it was alignment. When she finally booked a return ticket, it wasn't surrender, it was choice. Returning didn't mean going back, it meant carrying forward. She arrived home changed in ways that were invisible, but permanent. Friends noticed it in how she listened. Family noticed it in how little she complained. She noticed it in how silence no longer frightened her. Elena kept traveling, but differently. Shorter trips, deeper stays. She created a life that allowed movement without losing grounding. Home became less of a location and more of a condition, a place where curiosity and calm could exist together. Sometimes people asked her what the world was like. She never answered with countries or landmarks. She spoke about people, about shared meals, about misunderstandings that turned into laughter, about learning that the world is not divided into foreign and familiar, but into places we have listened to and places we haven't yet. Late one night, years after that first one-way ticket, Elena wrote her final line in the notebook that had traveled with her across continents. I didn't travel to find myself, I traveled to stop pretending I was lost. And in that quiet truth, her journey finally came full circle.
Natasha, travel English starts in a very simple moment, usually right before leaving, when people check their things and ask short, real questions. This is not fancy English. It's calm, practical language people actually use.
That's true, and learners should notice how short the sentences are. Instead of long explanations, people say, "I'm all set." This means everything is ready. It's a very useful phrase because you can use it in many situations, not only travel.
Exactly. If someone asks, "Are you ready?" you don't need to explain your plan. Saying, "I'm all set" sounds confident and natural. It's better than saying, "Yes, everything is prepared," which sounds correct but less real.
Another common word before traveling is packed. When you say, "My bag is packed" or "the car is packed," it means nothing is missing. This word is very important for pronunciation because it ends with a clear T sound, packed.
Clear pronunciation helps a lot, especially when you're tired or in a noisy place. Travel English is about being understood quickly. That's why people use short words like packed instead of long descriptions.
And when people talk about a long drive, they often say road trip. It's an easy phrase, but it carries a full idea. Driving for hours, stopping sometimes, and enjoying the journey. You can hear it a lot in daily conversation.
Road trips usually include food, and casual English has a fun word for snacks. People say munchies. It sounds friendly and relaxed. You might hear, "Do we have munchies?" instead of saying, "Do we have snacks?"
Yes, and this kind of language helps learners sound natural. Simple words, short sentences, and clear sounds make travel English easy to remember and easy to use in real life.
When people are already on the move, travel English becomes even shorter and faster. At this stage, nobody wants long sentences. People focus on action words and clear ideas so communication stays easy.
That's why phrases like "fill up the tank" are so important. It simply means putting gas in the car, but learners should remember it as one complete phrase. In real life, people don't explain. They just say, "We need to fill up the tank."
And notice how direct it sounds. The verb comes first, then the object. This structure is very common in spoken English and helps you sound confident. You can use the same pattern in many situations, like check the map or charge the phone.
Another phrase people use during a drive is pit stop. It means a short stop, usually for gas, food, or the bathroom. The idea is quick in and quick out. Even the sound of the phrase feels fast, which matches the meaning.
Yes, and tone matters here. When someone says quick pit stop, their voice usually stays light and relaxed. This shows it's not a big delay. Learning tone helps learners sound natural, not just correct.
Travel also includes checking details while moving. People say things like, "The map's on my phone," or "Music is ready." These short updates keep everyone calm and informed without too much talking.
And when everything feels organized, people often express confidence with simple language. Instead of explaining every detail, they trust these short phrases to do the work, which makes travel communication smooth and stress-free.
When travel feels smooth, it's usually because the language stays simple and calm. People don't try to sound smart, they try to sound clear. For example, instead of long explanations, they say things like, "It's ready," or "Everything's set." These phrases save time and reduce stress.
That's an important point for learners. Clear English is not about difficult grammar. It's about choosing words people expect to hear. When someone says, "The car is packed," everyone understands immediately. No extra details are needed.
And confidence grows when you repeat these phrases in daily life. You can practice at home by saying them out loud while doing small tasks. When English connects to action, it becomes natural, not something you have to translate in your head.
Travel also teaches good habits for speaking. You listen for key words, not every word. You respond with short answers. This skill helps in many situations, like talking to coworkers, drivers, or new friends.
Exactly. And motivation comes from feeling understood. When your English works in real moments, you feel proud and relaxed. That's why travel topics are perfect for building confidence step by step.
If this kind of real-life English helps you feel more confident and relaxed, make sure to like this episode, share it with someone learning English, leave a comment about your travel experiences, and subscribe so you don't miss more practical conversations like this.
So, are we all ready to go?
Yep, I think so. The car's packed, we have munchies and music, and the map's in the car.
Did you get the camera?
Got it. Did you fill up the tank?
Yep, it's all set.
You're sure we're not forgetting anything?
I'm sure. We've got all our bases covered.
Well, let's get going then. I love road trips. Do you think we can make a pit stop?
But we've only been on the road for 10 minutes.
I know, but I forgot to go to the bathroom before we left.
So, Erica, you said you've been on a million road trips. What was that all about? Where have you been?
Okay, well, maybe not a million road trips, but many road trips. Every summer, I used to go on a road trip with my family, and we would drive many, many hours, probably 8 hours in one day, up to northern Canada.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, and then we would go camping, and we would sleep outside, and we would have a campfire at night. It was great.
Ah, family road trip.
Yeah, but maybe 8 hours in a car is a little too long.
Well, yeah. Well, I've been on a different kind of road trip with some buddies of mine, some friends. We would drive to Las Vegas.
Really?
Yeah. So that's really fun. A bunch of crazy guys in a car going to Las Vegas and then just having fun and talking about everything. So that's a much different experience than a family road trip.
Maybe that sounds a little bit more fun.
Yeah, 8 hours in a car is not really that boring with all your friends. Then say the vocabulary word. Prepared. Ready to leave.
All ready to go.
Full. Everything is inside.
Packed.
Snacks. Food.
Munchies.
Put gas in the car.
Fill up the tank.
Ready.
All set.
Have everything ready.
Got all the bases covered.
Start. Leave. Depart.
Get going.
Long car trip.
Road trip.
Quick stop for food or gas.
Pit stop.
The luggage area of a car.
Trunk.
Person in a car, not the driver.
Passenger.
Highway.
Freeway.
A car you rent, a car you pay to borrow.
Rental car.
Fee paid for using the highway.
Highway toll.
Let's try that faster. Long car trip.
Road trip.
A car you rent, a car you pay to borrow.
Rental car.
Have everything ready.
Got all the bases covered.
Person in a car, not the driver.
Passenger.
Snacks, food.
Munchies.
Quick stop for food or gas.
Pit stop.
Highway.
Freeway.
Start, leave, depart.
Get going.
Put gas in the car.
Fill up the tank.
Prepared, ready to leave.
All ready to go.
Ready.
All set.
Full, everything is inside.
Packed.
Fee paid for using the highway.
Highway toll.
The luggage area of a car.
Trunk.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Road trip. I don't like road trips. Road trip. Let's take a road trip to Las Vegas. Road trip. Do you want to take a road trip? Packed. My suitcase is packed, so we're ready to go. Packed. Did you pack the car? Packed. We can't leave yet. I didn't pack the car. Munchies. I'm starving. Do you have any munchies? Munchies. Let's get some munchies for the trip. Munchies. We don't have any munchies. Can we go to the store? Fill up the tank. Did you remember to fill up the tank? Fill up the tank. I can't fill up the tank. I only have $5. Fill up the tank. I filled up my tank on the way home from work. Pit stop. We need some gas. Can we make a pit stop? Pit stop. We're making a pit stop in an hour. We'll eat lunch then. Pit stop. I'm sorry I was late. I made a pit stop on the way home. We've got all our bases covered in case the hurricane hits. So I've got my keys, wallet, and passport. Looks like I have all my bases covered. This sounds like a great plan. You've got all the bases covered. Get going. We have a long trip today, so let's get going. Get going. What time do you want to get going in the morning? Get going. We didn't get going until lunchtime. All set. I've got everything ready, so I'm all set for the trip. All set. Are you all set to go to the airport? All set. We're all set. This is going to be a great trip. All ready to go. It's time to get in the car. We're all ready to go. All ready to go. It's time to leave. Are you all ready to go? All ready to go. Come on, I'm all ready to go to the airport.